Hi everybody, welcome. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today Dorte Bredgaard. I'm afraid I don't pronounce your name correctly, who is a real leading edge professional in the field of dentistry, our teeth, and it's a very big and important subject. So the first question you might ask is, how did we meet? And what happened was, I think in one of my live streams, I'd said I was having a few issues with my teeth. And Dorte really kindly just reached out and offered to share her book with me, her book called Teeth Don't Lie. And when I read her book, in fact, I read it twice, I was just astonished at the depth of information that I had no idea about concerning teeth and gums and good oral health. So I've invited Dorte to join us today to answer questions that I think are really universal about our health. And I'd just like to give you, first of all, a warm welcome, Dorte. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So I guess one of the first questions that comes up is, does sugar cause decay in teeth?
Well, that's what we have always learned. I used to be a dentist, and in the beginning I was very excited about being a dentist, but then it frustrated me to notice that, you know, what I have been taught about dental diseases didn't show that way in the mouth of the people that are of my patients. And one day, one of my patients, she asked me, how comes I have all this decay? And I asked, how much sugar do you eat? And she said, well, I don't even like the taste of it, so I don't use sugar. And I was well, there was no answer that I could give her. And in fact, there is no evidence that sugar causes decay in humans. The only way they can find evidence is when they feed rats in the lab with sugar, and they expose them to this bacteria that is meant to cause decay. Then they can find some connection with it. But in people, if you take a group of people and you ask them how much sugar do you eat and drink, and then they look at their teeth and see how much decay do they have, there is absolutely no evidence.
Wow, no correlation between sugar
no correlation
and human teeth.
Yes.
Wow.
And if people say, I don't drink sugar or eat sugar, and they still have decay, the scientific explanation is everybody lies. That's the scientific explanation.
Wow. So there's no evidence.
No evidence.
So why do people get cavities then, would be the question.
Yes.
In your opinion?
Many years ago, I heard the expression that every disease comes from within. And at first I was, what? How? And I didn't understand it. But today I know, or at least this is my truth, that every disease comes from within. And that means if you have decay, it's caused by yourself.
Yes, something inside. Yes.
Yes. And in my opinion, you know, words are energy. And if you don't express your emotions, if you get very angry at somebody, but you don't tell them, maybe it's your boss or your husband or somebody that you don't want to quarrel with, so you don't let the words get out of your mouth, then the energy energy doesn't just dissolve. Energy is transformed, and then it's transformed into decay, into breakdown of dental tissue. And if you have to remove a house, break down a building, then you have to use a lot of energy. And it also takes a lot of energy to break down the teeth. And the energy, you support the energy, you deliver the energy. So the more you don't let the words get out of your mouth, the more energy you will use on breaking down your teeth.
And I believe you had some personal experience with that, didn't you? With
yes,
cavities.
yes.
Do you mind sharing a little of that?
Yes, I would love to. I always had good teeth. Well, I only had 2 cavities when I was 15 and 16. And then when I had been a dentist for 10 years, suddenly I had 2 new cavities. And I was, what? I didn't change my brushing habits or my sugar habits. So why? And at that point, I knew that I had to find another explanation, something that could explain what I actually saw in my patient's mouth. So I was, well, how can it be? And I really wondered why. And I didn't really, it took me a long time. And then one day I had a new patient, and it was a man, he was a astrologist, very wise man. And he told me that if you have bad teeth, it's because you bite your tongue instead of biting back.
Wow.
And that really made sense to me, because at the point where I had my new cavities, I was married, and inside of me, I knew the marriage was dead. It really didn't nourish me anymore. But it had always, you always read between the lines in my family that you don't get divorced. That's shameful. And so, I had just clenched my teeth and stayed in the marriage. So I'm sure that my cavities came out of this not biting back. So this was my working theory after that. And then I started, asking all my patients and talking a lot with them about this.
Yes, and you've developed a whole theory that you've researched over many years
Yes.
about the different teeth. Would you like to share a little about that?
Yes, I noticed that there are different emotions behind different diseases. So if you have cavities, it's feeling inadequate, and also taking the role of a martyr, doing things that is not really, you don't consider your job, and doing it anyway with aggression and frustration. Yes, so all the energy.
Yes.
And I also noticed that every tooth corresponds to an area of life. At first I saw a palm reader in the television. She talked about the fingers, and I said, oh, maybe the teeth will also correspond to.
Yes.
So it took me a long time to figure out, and I quickly found out there was a correlation.
Yes.
But which referred to which area, well, that took me a long time. But today I think it's so logical that they represent areas of life. If you take a baby, a newborn baby, they normally don't have any teeth. But when you're a newborn baby, you can sleep and you can eat and not much else. But then suddenly the world gets a little bigger, and then they start to move forward. They want to crawl, and that's when the 2 incisors came. Yes, so that's what they correspond to. to the moving forward life. And then they also, later on, they start to talk. And that's when the two centrals are coming.
Yes.
And when their world is getting a little bigger, they get new teeth. And when they get the canines are the willpower. And I have forgotten what it's called. When children are around 2 years old, they are.
Yes, the terrible twos. The terrible twos, the tantrums.
Yes. And that's when they have the willpower, they just develop the willpower, and I should try, what can I do with this willpower?
Yes, yes.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it certainly does. And your book goes into detail about each of the teeth, the upper level, the lower level. And it's profound as we begin to work with more energy medicine now, rather than just, drilling and cutting. And, that is appropriate at times. But if we can solve it before it comes to those stages, we can save ourselves a lot of pain and sorrow and suffering. Yeah, no, thank you. That's awesome.
I have actually just written a new book, and it's not in English yet. It's in Danish, and it's called Fuck the Toothbrush.
We love this. We love this.
Because I want to teach small children, what are their teeth? What will happen if they don't speak up for themselves?
Yes.
So if we can teach young children to be true to themselves, to just speak up, and if there's some problem with a tooth, then they know, whoa, which area in my life do I have to work on?
Yes.
So
yes.
it will be life-changing.
Yes. Do you really think that we may get to the stage, Dorte, where we won't need to brush our teeth?
Well, we are already there.
Really?
Well, yes. Toothbrushing doesn't help anything. Well, it has, if you were used to brush your teeth, then you have to go on. Like when you wash your hair every day, then you have to continue washing it every day. Otherwise, it will be not nice. So it's because the natural balance is, what do you call it, ruined, spoiled? The natural balance.
Yes, isn't there? Wow. So,
but every bacteria, do you call it bacterium or bacteria?
Tell me the rest of the context. You're doing beautifully. Aren't we lucky that Dorte speaks such great English? Yes, please try again.
Yes. Well, it's just
bacteria.
Yes, bacteria. Every bacteria, I guess the correct thing is to say every bacterium, but
yes,
I'll just say every bacteria is, it's very small, and every hair of the toothbrush is 1,600 times bigger than one bacterium.
Wow.
So if decay was due to bacteria and if you hadn't cleaned your teeth, then you would have cavities everywhere. Everybody would have.
Yes. So, wow. Well, let's see what the comments are about that.
Yes.
How people feel about that.
And I don't say you cannot brush your teeth. That's not my job. But many children, they hate having their teeth brushed.
Yes.
My oldest daughter, I forced her to have a teeth brushed, and when she was around 3 years old, she was okay with it. So about 2.5 years, I just forced her to do it.
Yes, yes.
And how would you like, as a grown-up, to somebody hold your arms and your head and just stick something into your mouth.
Yes.
That's abuse.
Yes.
So one of the things that I wanted to tell in my children's book is, don't brush your teeth. If you have to force somebody to have their teeth brushed, then don't do it. Teach them to speak up for themselves. That's what changes everything.
Wow. Would you say there is not a connection as well, however, that the teeth are not as strong now because we don't get as good nutrition from our soil and from the foods, and our bodies are not maybe fed generally, and that maybe affects the teeth as well, would you say?
I don't see that as a problem. You know, I follow a dentist on Instagram, and he's very much into this nutrition. Yes. And he talks about vitamin D deficiency, and that causes a decay. But then I think, well, if it's because of lack of nutrition, why is only one tooth having decay or three? Why not everything at the same time?
Yes, that's a great question. Why? And that's the question I think maybe we can ask ourselves, why that tooth? And then look it up in your book and
yes.
see, what that is connected to, which life area, and what are the emotions you might not be addressing.
Yes.
Wow. And of course, a very big hot potato at the moment has been for a while, a root canal treatments.
Yes.
Are they good? Are they okay? Are they dangerous? What would be your view on that, Dorte?
I can talk a very long time about this. Because as a dentist, we learn that root canal treatments are necessary. And some alternative thinking people say it's dangerous. And what is the truth? It's probably somewhere between those two. And I have learned that 97% of women with breast cancer has one or two root canal treated teeth on the same side. And then somebody blames the root canal treated teeth. But I say, well, if you have a root canal treated tooth, then the tooth made a lot of fuss, made a lot of pain, and this didn't come out of nowhere. So having a tooth that is dying or very inflamed, it's not just by chance, you know, it's your body.
Yes.
Talking to you, screaming at you, look at this, change this.
Yes.
So, and because we don't know the language of teeth, then we don't change anything.
No, we don't know what to change. Yes.
Precisely. So we go on, and even though the tooth has shouted at you for years, maybe you don't change this pattern that is really unhealthy for you.
Yes.
And if you don't listen to the small signs, then the body will, of course, react
stronger.
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe that that's what causes the breast cancer. That you didn't address what had to be addressed in the first place.
Yes, the fundamental issue behind having to have a root canal in the first place.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I what I want is that we develop, that we come to a place where the dentists don't root canal treat anymore, because when you're a dentist, you're afraid of bacteria, and that's the main cause behind the root canal treatment. You aim directly at the bacteria. But I have several times I have spoken with people with toothache, and we have looked at the root cause, and then after an hour, oh, I have no pains now. So if you take the pressure of yourself, the emotional pressure off, then you can calm down the tooth.
Thank you. We're back. Sorry for the glitch. So yes, you were saying that if you can resolve and get to the emotional issue behind the tooth pain, then the tooth pain can just vanish miraculously.
Yes.
Wow. But then we would need somebody like you to help us to get to the root, if you like. Sorry, not to cause it another word.
But I want this to be, what do you call it? Everyday
knowledge. Yes.
Knowledge. Yes.
Yes.
That's why we have to teach children.
Yes, we have to start early, but we also want to learn as adults so that we understand what's going on. So really, from what you're saying, I think you're saying is that a root canal is, what do people do for people who've already got them in there? Do they get them taken out? What would be your recommendation?
I always, if people ask me, should I keep it or should I have it taken out, then I always want to look at it individually, because for some people, the best solution will be to have it pulled out. But mostly, I think it's best to keep it.
Wow. And diffuse anything that might be harmful from it.
But they, even though they're dead, when they root canal, they're dead. But even though they are dead, they can still give you messages. You know, one of the teeth is about being useful, being the helper. And one of my girlfriends, she used to have a lot of problems with that tooth, and it eventually died. And she didn't have it root canal. We talked a lot about it. And so she just kept this tooth, even though it was dead. And when she forgot not to be a helper, when she said yes to something that her body said, well, don't do it, then she had a small infection. So it just, told her, maybe you should go back and say, no, I cannot do that.
Wow. Yeah. But
at some point it broke, so it came in 2 parts, so she had it pulled out. But if you still have the tooth, then you still have access to the energy, even though you have lost the connection with yourself. So if you have a dead tooth or root canal, then you have to come back to knowing how to use that energy in a good way.
Yes, you have to
understand it.
Yes, you can use it positively. Yes.
The tooth will tell you if you are doing it in a way that's not good for you.
Yes. So the majority of cases, you would tell people to leave the root canal in and to work with that life area.
Yes, precisely.
And heal that, so that root canal will not cause you problems.
Yes.
But if somebody's got terrible pain and, it's a particular tooth, there is a possibility that if you're knowledgeable about the teeth and you can tune into those emotions, you might be able to stop the pain. Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
You can stop it very quickly.
Wow. And you've seen this many times?
Yes.
It's fantastic. Isn't that wonderful, everybody? Yes. Isn't this, great news? Yeah, the potentials are here. I mean, there's a lot here. We're just doing an intro interview here today, and I have no doubt there are going to be questions, and Dorte will come back, hopefully, to, if you don't mind, to answer those questions. But I've just one more question here. Is periodontal disease, is it caused by bacteria, and can it be healed?
No disease is caused by bacteria. None.
Wow. So what is the periodontal caused by? The disease caused by?
It is caused by emotions. It is your own cells that break down the bone.
And why would they do that?
On your demand. Yes. Periodontal disease is, you know, people with periodontal disease are the hardest ones to work with. But those who get the most success. And the reason why it's hard to work with is because, you know, the emotion behind is feeling lack of support, and people can relate to that. But what is the actual emotion is taking the role of a victim. And when I tell people it's because you have taken the role of a victim, oh, I know, you know, it's because they don't support me, and it's people find it very shameful to, yes. But I can guarantee healing if you are willing to take the role of a victim and say, whoa, yes, and where can I find it in my life? And we are all doing it. We are all taking the roles of a victim, more or less.
Yes.
But if we are willing to say, okay, if this is my responsibility, how can I change it? And if there are circumstances you cannot change, then you have to change your what do you call it? The emotions around it.
Yes.
Your
yes.
perception. Your perception.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, you do.
Yes.
Wow. This is eye-opening, isn't it? I mean, it just opens this up and potentially makes the whole subject of teeth and gums empowering, rather than having to run to a dentist like, oh, I'm in pain, help, you know, sort out and take away the pain. We've got to go deeper and in some way empower ourselves to find out why we've got that pain in the first place. And that's where I think you come in with this immense research that you've done over the years that's tremendously valuable. It's obviously helped a lot of people. Wow.
What I have learned is teeth are so intelligent. And, you know, when a child gets sad, you know, there are tears are jumping out of the eyes, and sound is coming out of the mouth. It's like pushing a button, right? Teeth, they react in the same way. They are so precise.
Wow.
They tell you exactly, this is bad. Don't do it.
Wow. So if you've got teeth issues, there are things in your life that you need to change or need to see differently, one or the other. Dorte, if there were some top tips that you could give our viewers at this point around teeth and gums and staying healthy, what would they be?
Well, always speak up for yourself.
Right.
Always express your emotions. Let the words get out of your mouth. And some people have held the words back for ages, and then it will maybe be like a volcano.
Yes.
But maybe you should just let them out. And
okay, that's great. So letting them out. Okay, yeah. let your emotions out and find ways to release whatever's bothering you and don't bite on it. Wow.
Exactly.
So, and you could possibly, if you think about it, discard your toothbrush.
Yes.
Your toothpaste.
Well, I still brush 1 time a day.
Wow. And what about flossing and all of that?
It doesn't help. It doesn't prevent diseases. But what you can do, what you can use it for, is diagnosing, because you know the teeth, they speak with symptoms, and the symptom is when food is stuck between your teeth. That's the body's calling you, hey, look at this. And sometimes it's just plaque, bacteria. And if you use the floss, then you can see, oh, is this some place where it's bleeding, or is some place where it doesn't smell good? And so you can use it for diagnosing.
Wow, this is such a huge subject. It's huge. So I'm going to recommend everybody do check out Dorte's book, Teeth Don't Lie. And hopefully your latest book will be coming out in English. Her website, all links will be in the description box below. And whatever questions you've got, please put them in the questions or comments. Please write, please like the video. Thank you, Dorte, so much for your time today. And yeah, let's see where this goes with Pluto still in these last degrees of Capricorn. This is the time to take the power. Pluto is your power. Capricorn rules your teeth, your bones, your structure of the body. And it's time to take our power in whatever way we can and face our fears and see whether we can find solutions and get stronger in this life area. So thank you very, very much, Dorte. It's
I also say thank you.
Pleasure being with you. Thank you.